I've been having so much trouble keeping Skeletor quiet, I have recently made a bunch of changes to how I keep him. I decided to switch him over to a grass hay. It's pretty exciting that I could get one giant bale delivered this late in the season. It was pretty expensive, and when I got to poking around, I noticed it did have some thistle leaves in it. This hay is orchard grass. This is what the seed head looks like. Compared to what he was getting, this is a lot less protein. It does have a little bit of alfalfa in it, but not very much. Since this is a lot less calories than he's used to, he can have this hay in front of him 24/7, so hopefully that'll give him something to do. Since he was having a horrible time locked in his stall all the time, I switched him over to 100% turnout in my smaller arena. And if he can manage to not hurt one of his other legs, I think this is going to end up being a lot better for him. The two problems that he has going on have conflicting typical rehab plans. So for his suspensory ligament, he should be on stall rest, not moving very much at all. But for the juvenile arthritis he has, he should move as much as possible. And this is just one of the things that you have to consider when taking care of horses like this. Skeletor is an extremely busy-minded horse, and he was having so much trouble staying in a stall. I also noticed that his arthritis was bothering him being in a stall for that long and only going on hand walks. When switching over hay, you need to introduce it very slowly. As you can see, his poop is a little bit loose these days. I'm pretty confident that once he adjusts, it'll firm up again. The first couple of days he was turned out, he did a little bit of trotting around, which is not ideal. He does have Studman right next to him, and being out 24/7 has really helped this guy keep quiet. It was getting pretty dangerous for me to lead him around every day, so I thought that this is probably the best course of action for him overall. I might regret it in another 6 months or so when we go to check his suspensory, but for his dueling conditions, there really isn't a perfect type of rehab. This is the area where his ligament is damaged. Typically, the higher up on the leg, the harder it is to rehab. Ideally, I would really like him out on a giant pasture where he could live for the next year and just hang out with other horses calmly. But this is about the best I could come up with everything I have available to me. In addition to switching Skeletor over to a grass hay, I also switched Studman over as well. He needs to be getting a little bit of extra hay as well to help clear all of the sand in his gut out. While I have this hay, Scarlet is also going to be getting free choice grass. Straight alfalfa in a growing horse can present a number of problems as they grow, so it's better that she gets a grass hay for now. I am still on a hunt for a companion for Skeletor, maybe over at my quarantine facility. I do think once I start riding the horses every day, he's gonna get a little bit jazzed up. He will get to go in a stall in the barn when there's a lot of exciting things happening, but I think overall it might be better to just not expose him to that while I'm trying to keep him quiet. It would be really nice if I could figure out which other horse I already have might be a good match for him. I almost think that Big Gus might be the perfect fit. He is pretty calm when turned out, and him and Pete need to have some separation. But for now, this seems to be working pretty good. I am just finishing up all of my chores for the evening. Even though it was a little bit brisk today, the sunshine was really nice. Just so you guys can get an idea of the differences in the type of forage, this is the straight alfalfa that the other horses get. It has almost twice as much protein as the grass hay, so it's perfect for the older horses and all of the horses that I rehab regularly. I just bought one of these big bales to test, and it's proving to be a real pain in the butt. This one cost me $300 delivered, and that's around $500 a ton, which is extremely expensive for hay. For that amount of money, I would expect it to be pretty nice. With the amount of thistle that I keep finding in it, I don't know that I'm going to want to buy another bale from the same producer. I can always put them back on alfalfa, but I really would like them to have grass hay. My giant stack is dwindling down after the winter. For those of you guys that are new, this is what it looked like the day after I had it delivered. I still have plenty of hay to get through this summer. So if I can't find a better quality grass hay, I can just put the horses back on alfalfa. I was really hoping I just found a clump of thistle in the beginning of the bale, but I'm about a quarter of the way through it and I keep finding thistle all throughout the bale. Unfortunately, I have bought worse hay in the past, but this is kind of unacceptable for the price I paid. At feeding time, I have been trying to reduce the amount of work it is for me. Obviously, things like this don't help. Skeletor and Studman get their bins refilled. I have been using hay nets on and off, but the horses have figured out how to take them off and it's a little bit too dangerous. I don't want them getting tangled up in them. So here lately, I've just been filling up their feed bins. Studman has a bin outside as well as inside so I can feed him according to the weather. It has been kind of nice being able to let him roam about the two small dry lots instead of just one. I haven't decided what I'm going to do about fixing that fence. I've been toying with the idea of redoing the fencing so I can have Mustangs here again. Scarlet also needs a pretty high fence to stay contained, so it might be worth it to investigate a little bit farther. It has been quite a while since Skeletor went to the vet last. I have been slowly dialing in his feeding program. He is getting a few different supplements, and now that he's switched over to grass hay, I will have to reassess the concentrated ration balancer that he's getting. Studman seems to be pretty much back to normal after his colic scare. This is just one day's worth of poop. I usually clean out his pen in the morning when he's eating breakfast. The dry lots are looking so much better now that I've gotten all the stray manure from around the edges and the ice has finally melted. These boys seem to be really enjoying being next to each other but having their own space. I'll give you guys a quick rundown of what Skeletor is getting. He is getting a ration balancer, he's getting California Trace and a few pumps of pure flaxseed oil. He is getting a joint supplement as well as a fat supplement and some salt. The joint supplement, a few of you guys bought me off of the wish list, so thank you so much. It did take me a while to convince Skeletor that it was okay, but it is the perfect addition to his diet to support the recovery of his ligament. There are no gaps in his nutrition and he has a few things that will help support him as he recovers. I have seen him trot around a few times and he does look pretty sound. It is a great start, but hopefully he'll be able to stay calm for a few more months. I am still extremely bummed I can't start riding him this summer, but I have a lot of other things to keep me busy. Since I've started Nigel on the shaky plate, he is moving around a lot more than he has been in the past. It could just be the really nice weather, but I do think it's making a difference in his overall health. I don't know if I'm going to make this a regular thing, but it seems like a good idea to do a little update on Skeletor every Sunday. So thank you guys so much for watching and stay tuned for the next video.